It is. So, yeah, I mean, you and I, we can see neither of us are too perturbed by this. I'm really looking forward to the 2013 GSL. It's going to be awesome. And Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, I mean, we know we're going to see the highest caliber of play. And, all right, looks like we started up here, guys. Now, this is, of course, the third game. Currently tied 1-1. Lucky taking that last game on Daybreak. And spawning in the upper left, the Clarity Gaming Protoss player in the pink, he is Yong.
And in the bottom right corner of Aculon Flats, there's going to be the FXOpen Zerg player who was able to grab Game 2 with the same strategy that he tried to use for Game 1, but he was able to pull it off successfully that time. It is going to be Lucky.
And I realized I forgot to give the GSL zooms last game, I think. And I gave him to Lucky here, but I forgot to give him to Yong. So that's a distinct advantage for Lucky already.
That is unforgivable, good sir. I'm sorry, but you have made me angry.
Man, I guess I'm just not as good as an observer as I'd like to be. Oh, the shame. The shame is unbearable.
Oh, I can't stay mad at you. I'm done.
All right, that's good. Now, okay, so this series, we've obviously seen two of the exact same strategies, but interestingly enough, they played out in different ways. Obviously, a victory for Yong at first, then Lucky taking the second game. The mutas were very strong, and I think a lot of it has to do with how Daybreak is just a larger map, and it was harder for Yong to stage a counterattack like he did on Cloud Kingdom, so the mutas were able to have their free reign in the main base, and once all the Stalkers got picked off, I mean, it was just GG for Yong there.
Another thing we need to consider is that Daybreak, the rush distance is a little closer than Cloud Kingdom. So, timing-wise, perhaps Lucky was able to pull it off more efficiently because I believe the bases were a little closer.
Are they? I'm not actually, I could be just, like, misinformed. I don't know. I never actually, like, gave it a measure or whatnot. To me, it just looks like Daybreak is bigger. Is the rush distance closer than Cloud Kingdom?
Like, I'm thinking about it. If you notice, like, main base placements, because, like,
oh, you mean for the Mutalisks?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that makes total sense then. Never mind. That makes absolutely 100%. So yeah, actually, in that case, then I totally agree.
Yeah, rush distance-wise, I would definitely say Cloud Kingdom and Daybreak. They're probably similar. And, I mean, there are very, very efficient people out there who, like, use special programs to, like, actually measure rush distance and things like that. So they probably know exactly whether or not Daybreak or Cloud Kingdom is closer, but we are just, we're casters, we're not paid to figure that stuff out, so who cares?
Yeah, at best I'm gonna do is, like, put a ruler on my monitor and be like, alright, it's this much, and obviously that's not gonna help anybody, so...
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a Ling run from one side of the map to the other side of the map, and I'm gonna have a stopwatch.
That probably is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that for both maps, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome, and then it's gonna be like hilarious because I'm gonna like post up a Team Liquid thread about it, and then people are gonna be like, dude, you have no life.
It's dude, what are you doing, man? But look, I made a pie chart and there's a graph and stuff. This is really scientific. No, thank you.
And look, I made the thread extra long so that you guys have no choice but to read everything. There's no too long didn't read version.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make this easier for you. I had to work hard to get this information. You're gonna have to work hard to get it from me. I like these plans, man. We should definitely be a diabolical team bent on taking over the world, because so far that looks like what we're doing.
Yeah. Have you had like those moments where you're like you're checking out Team Liquid threads, what's new and stuff like that, and you see like this one really, really well-made thread by this one dude, but you realize you're gonna lose almost an hour of your life reading all of it?
Oh yeah, straight to the bottom for the TLDR, man. Straight to the bottom. And
I think...
Hold on, we've got the Stargate from Yong. I just want to point that out real quick. We have a divergence. We are going to see some airplay.
That is important. I'm very glad you pointed that out.
It got me excited. I saw the Stargate in the tab. I was like, oh man, this is going to be it.
It should get you excited. You are not a true caster if you don't get excited from Stargate openings.
It's so dynamic. It's so much fun. There's so many options too, because I don't think I've ever seen a Void Ray first opening Heart of the Swarm, but Phoenixes and Oracles, both equally viable openings. Phoenixes especially are very powerful in Heart of the Swarm because of that increased range. We are going to see Yong go for that.
Oh, looks like he's going to go for Phoenixes first. perhaps.
It's kind of like
just,
what Lucky's been doing, like using the same units, but they're just a little bit better.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. And well, we do see Young destroying those destructible rocks, so it looks like he'll probably be planning on possibly taking his third base and maybe destroying the rock tower so the rocks will fall.
Oh yeah, of course, this is the Heart of the Swarm version.
Yeah.
We do have those destructible rock towers. Pretty cool dynamic. And so Yong is probably looking to take a fast third out of this, and you know, it's a lot like Entombed Valley, where especially if you knock down these rocks, it is just so much easier to secure a base, especially against Zerg, when all of their early army is ground-based.
You know, Shane, I'm curious. Were you watching the GSTL match? I think it was. It was a Terran player versus a Zerg player. The map was not Akelon Flats. It was one of the new Heart of the Swarm maps, but what it had was it had a rock tower, right? And the Terran player was going for a timing attack with Widow Mines, Hellions, and Marines. And it was gonna be like the sickest timing attack ever, but the Zerg player killed the rock tower to delay the Terran's army from moving out. And while he was doing that, he got an unexpected bonus because the rock tower that fell killed 4 Widow Mines. Did you watch that game?
You know, I didn't watch the game, but I saw the GIF, and I know it's called a GIF, but I hate saying GIF. I saw it, and I saw all the hype on Reddit, and oh my god, it was so awesome. I also saw it where somebody, they meshed the GIF with the Dustin Browder freaking out about the rocks being knocked down. So in this case, he actually had something to freak out about because rocks were killing units. So I guess, yes, I did see the awesome part of that game, and man, it was so cool. It's going to happen 1 out of a million times, but we got to see it.
Yeah, I know, like, I was reading the Team Liquid thread while that was happening, and so many people were saying, like, Dustin Browder's probably freaking out right now.
It's all he's ever wanted, man. Oh, Yong is going to lose a Phoenix there. He is going to get confirmation on the Hydras, though, so this Colossus switch from him is very good. But yeah, Dustin Browder, definitely one happy camper at the moment. It looks like the third base for Yong going to get a little bit creeped up from Lucky. But he is going to knock that down. It's going to be a little delayed, though, and definitely not the faster third that Yong wanted.
Okay, well, Young is going to be taking his third base right now, and as you can see, the destructible rocks have gone down, so Young is pretty well protected for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. We have seen, I mean, you're saying yourself, Lucky just hates those destructible rocks, man, and the Hydras can break them down very quickly, so he's protected, he'll have time to react, but the rocks are only going to last for so long. Right now, the Phoenix is keeping those Hydras at home, going all over the place. Once the Hydra speed is out, Yong is going to have to be quite a bit more careful, though. In the meantime, though, he's managed to do quite a bit of damage. He took out at least 1 queen.
We have Swarm Hosts.
Do we have Swarm Hosts? Yes.
Yes, we do. Oh, freaking yes. Yes, this is going to be
It's time. It's going to be so good, especially he's getting the Enduring Locust upgrade, which gives you about like 2.5 screens worth of locusts, and on a map like Akelon Flats, if you can get your creep spread out there, sieging is going to be so useful. This map is so straight, narrow, and long that it's going to be very hard for the Protoss to deal with Swarm Hosts.
You know, it would have been really awesome if like Swarm Hosts were they had like a pre-version, maybe like Hydralisks could morph into Swarm Hosts.
Oh, so they'd be kind of like lurkers.
Yeah,
a little bit.
So that would have been like. Of course, if people did that, then people would be like, okay, so then why not just bring back lurkers?
Right? It's like, all right, can we just have lurkers if we're gonna like let's pretend that Hellbats aren't fire bats for 10 seconds, but can we at least not pretend that the locusts or the swarm hosts aren't lurkers? Now, obviously, all these locusts are getting picked off here quite quickly, but you got to remember these are free units doing free damage, and any hit point damage that Yong takes is just going to be free damage for Lucky.
It's just like the same thing with infested Terrans. When you lose units and all the Zerg player loses is this energy, it's such a sad thing to watch.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, the Phoenix is actually proving very useful here, picking up a couple of the Swarm Hosts, stopping them from popping out those Locusts, but the bulk of Lucky's army is just getting taken out here. The Hydra's melting very quickly to the Colossi. Those Thermal Lance upgrades really helping. The Swarm Hosts look so helpless when they're picked up by those Phoenixes. They flail more than anything I've seen, I think.
Oh man, these 4 queens are so slow.
Oh, they were like, guys, we can help.
I think Lucky, yeah, well, they got there too late. Everyone else died. I think Lucky wanted to try to end the game. If you notice, he made Swarm Host, Hydralisk, and then like he brought his queens over. I think he really wanted to try to kill Yong, but it just didn't work out very well. Yong already had Colossi out by the time he got there, and the Swarm Host just didn't do enough damage.
Yeah, he was trying. I mean, I've seen people do like you'll bring queens with the swarm host, and that'll be good for obviously transfusing if you want to, but also knocking away any air units because a lot of the times what people try to do is I'll bring a void ray in here and I'll pick off your swarm host. They'll be defenseless, but nothing. Of course, yeah, the Hydra's backing it up too, but I think he should have maybe masked up a few more swarm hosts before he went to that stage. Because, I mean, once they get in those huge numbers, you start getting those massive locust numbers to the point where the Protoss has to start wasting force fields on it, where they have to start backing up and waiting for the wave to subside. Then you can really start sieging a base. But I think he had 7 swarm hosts, and it's just not enough to deal with the 2 Colossi that Yong had.